Hello, today I am sculpting Dioptase, which is another mineral. Minerals are one of the most requested videos on my YouTube channel, and I suppose it's because they're pretty. And a friend of mine suggested that it might be because it's kind of galaxy themed and kind of science fiction themed. And it also can be used in so many different settings, like jewelry, and usually the colors are kind of shiny. I don't know, but honestly, I am sculpting quite a lot of crystals and minerals for my sculptural paintings, so I don't really mind doing a few videos on them here and there. So I started with some cernit clay. I used porcelain white mixed with translucent. So it's a very translucent kind of white, or it's going to bake into a very translucent kind of white. And I mixed in some silver foil, but I've heard before that aluminium foil would work as well. Or optionally, you can not use any at all. It doesn't look as realistic, but it's nice as well. And here I'm simply texturing with all the tools I have on hands, which are some spatula tools. I used a toothbrush and a plural needle tool, so to speak. And for the dioptase itself, I used some cernit translucent, some colored cernit translucent. I found those, I think, in November or so, and I ordered them right away because I knew I was going to make quite a lot of minerals and crystals, and so I've been trying them more and more. However, if you don't have access to cernit, or if you just have some translucent clay at home, you can color the translucent clay with various techniques. I'm showing one technique in another video that I'm going to link below, which uses alcohol inks, but you can also use acrylic paint or oil paint to color translucent clay, or even pigments, but that makes more sense. So if you don't have, or if you don't want to buy colored clays, which I understand, I usually don't really buy that kind of stuff. I just happen to make so many minerals right now that I thought it might be faster for me. So if you don't, you have those options, so don't hesitate to use those different coloring techniques. And here I'm cutting. I actually ended up mixing the clay a little bit more, because right now you see the different shades a bit too much, and I wanted it to be more blended in, but that's really up to you. Usually minerals, they are not just one colored, or they are like a bit of, how shall I put it? There are some variations in colors, so that's why I usually mix 3 different colors to have a more realistic look. And I'm always adding some silver or gold foil to add some depth. So that's pretty much it. Crystals and minerals are actually really easy to sculpt. You just have to find the right coloring and then take your time sculpting and texturing everything. And here I'm using an exacto knife to give it some texture, so I'm just scraping the surface a bit. It's good to have reference pictures that will help you greatly to achieve the right look. You're really going to need reference pictures. I cannot say that often enough. It seems that many people think that artists work from memory, and it is true to some extent. Like if you are used to making crystals all the time, if you made 10 or so crystals, then you don't really need reference pictures anymore at some point, because you know how it's done. But if it's something you never sculpted before, you really need reference pictures. That way you are going to be able to make it realistically, even if you want to change the colors of the shape, without reference pictures, you're just going to make something that looks like it, but is not quite as accurate. So, reference pictures, people. And here just another shot of me adding some more Dioptase on the whitish ground. I'm not even sure if that's Dioptase too. The white crystals or minerals. I just found a picture, or more exactly, I got from my mom. My mom is awesome, by the way, just wanted to say that. She offered me this great book about geology, and it's full of minerals, and so, yeah, that really helps. And I find that pretty picture of Dioptase, and well, I had to sculpt it. Especially since this sculptural painting is going to be in blue tones in opposition to really strong red pinkish tones, so it should be interesting. I hope it's going to be good. And yeah, so blue it is, and that turquoise color or turquoise, I don't really know. I think you say turquoise. I think you say turquoise in English, I'm not sure. In French it's turquoise, which sounds very different. And here I'm just adding some more texture with those spatula tools I really like. Again, I'm linking some of the tools that are very specific tools just below, because the spatula tools are actually handmade tools by a sculptor. So you only can get them from him. And now I sound like I'm making an ad, but I'm not getting paid by him. I don't even really know him, but yeah, the tools are awesome. So if you're really into sculpture, it's like one of the rare tools I really recommend. Usually I tend to not recommend tools much, because I think that whatever you have on hand is really the way to go, and then you can always add more to your I don't know, to your case, to your box, to your toolbox. But those are really great. So if you want to splurge on tools, you just get them. And here, as you see, I'm scratching the surface, and after baking I'm always adding some white paint here. So I do some dry painting. I simply have a rather dry brush, just a dry brush, and I'm dipping it in white color. I use white acrylic paint, and then I brush over the edges and where I want to showcase the scratches. And so yeah, I think painting is really what pushes your sculpture to the next level, if that makes sense. It's like sculpting is, especially at that scale, often lacks a bit of depth, and paint really helps to give it more realism and more beauty. Sounds a bit cheesy, but that's true. So yeah, basically just adding some paint. I always add paint now on my sculptures. Sometimes it's a bit more complex than that. And for the white base, I simply brush very randomly over, so it's not just that whitish translucent base, but then you always have that depth that comes with the matte white paint. Opaque. Haven't checked how you pronounce that. Anyway, and the color is so pretty, right? Just really love blue so much. Obviously, you can use whatever color you want. If you're into red or into royal blue or orange, whatnot. It's really up to you to choose the color you want. I've said it before, but I really think when you're watching YouTube tutorials or time lapses like this, I mean, unless you're watching them just because it's fun, it's good to just learn the technique and then go with what you really want to do and not just what I really want to do. And finally, I'm adding some varnish, and well, that's pretty much it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, And don't hesitate to support me on Patreon. That would greatly help. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!